It's a pleasure today to be joined by Samiran Ghosh, tech advisor to large corporates and top influencer in artificial intelligence, blockchain, AR, VR, and digital transformation. Hi, Samiran. Thanks for taking the time to join us today. Can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Quite interestingly, technology and I kind of happened to chance upon each other quite accidentally. I was very fortunate to be associated and work with brands like IBM, Microsoft, McKinsey. I've been actively associated with the World Economic Forum, the Forbes Technology Council. I've been a TEDx speaker. Somewhere around in September 2018, I kind of hit somewhat of a hit refresh moment in my career and decided to kind of leave the formal workforce and kind of strike it out by myself. And that has been a very interesting journey where I've written articles, been co-authored books, become somewhat of an influencer, and then also worked with some of the smartest people in young startups. And so it's kind of been fantastic so far, and I'm kind of looking forward to the next 10, 20 years of my life and seeing where it goes.
Fantastic. This is your profile in our platform, and this is your bio. It's taken from Twitter, and you see your audience size in your engagement and your authority. We also have specific authority metrics for the topics that you're influential on. So obviously in the tech industry, we've classified you as a tech professional and an author, and your persona, we would call you an industry practitioner. And then just to go through a little bit of an overview. So you can see here you post an average of 35 tweets per month. In terms of the topics you post on, artificial intelligence has the biggest share of voice. About 32% of your posts are on AI. About 17% are on finance, COVID, cryptocurrency. So those are the key topics that we have you posting on. And this is your most engaged network. So you can see here some of your key connectors: Theodora Lau, Harold Sinnott, Ronald Van Loon. Does this ring true with you? These are the people that you
Yes. And most of these people are actually good friends.
Fantastic. And then here's a bit about your audience. So you're most engaged with marketing professionals, tech professionals and entrepreneurs in the tech finance industry primarily, and a little bit in the charity sector as well. And some of the brands that you've mentioned are Google, Amazon, McKinsey, Microsoft, and Accenture. I just wanted to go onto the content tab so we can just look a little bit deeper into what you're posting on. So here's some of the key topics that we've picked out on this word cloud: ST insights, ethics, digital identity, just some of the keywords here.
Right. And just here that, that ST insights and One HCL, it was actually, I was on a panel which was about industrial automation. Since there was a lot of traffic on that, that's the reason that's kind of popping up in the word cloud more prominently.
You're getting a lot of engagement from that event. That makes sense. Okay, and then if we just go back to your overview, you can see here the showcase content tab. So this is showcase content that you've decided to feature on our platform. This is a new section for our platform here, and we've got some of the key content that you're looking to showcase at the moment, and really spotlight your expertise in these areas. What would you say are key topics you're currently focused on?
I have been focused on working with startups and projects primarily in the AI and blockchain space. So with AI, I've been working in the healthcare space, in the pure analytics and big data space. And as far as blockchain is concerned, I've been working with a few very interesting companies who are doing pioneering work in the digital identity spaces. How do you actually provide scalable and secure digital identity to each and everyone on the planet?
Fantastic. And would you say within those key topics, what trends could you see coming up over the next 5 years that people need to be aware of?
As I kind of look at what's kind of happening in the world, specifically in the last 1 year, and then because of that going forward, if you kind of read about what the World Economic Forum is saying, or what any of the top thinkers in the world are talking about, I think a lot of the energy is kind of going to go towards building technologies and systems which are going to be impacting things like climate change. There's going to be impacting the workplace of the future. There's going to be a lot of work going on to make all of these technologies easily available. Because today, I mean, just as an example, if you want to use green technology, it comes with a huge premium because those technologies are not very cheaply available today. The entire world or a large part of the world is going to be spending a significant part of their time building scalable technology to address these issues. I think that's at least going to occupy a large part of our time in the next 3 to 5 years.
What would you say some of the most innovative companies are doing in those areas at the moment?
If you kind of look at just the work that the Gates Foundation is doing in terms of provide potable water in third world countries, is there a way we can make toilets economical and easily available? And while these don't sound like great pieces of tech, but there's a lot of innovation and technology that needs to go in to make it affordable. Just in terms of the fulcrum of innovation, my personal belief is that I think it's kind of started shifting a little bit away from the US and Silicon Valley to the areas where problems lie. I think there's much more innovation in agriculture happening in Israel than anywhere else just because of the scarcity. I think there are a lot of very interesting things coming out of the African continent. And I think there is some of that even happening in India. While I can't really name a specific company saying that this is the best one, I think we are seeing a lot of innovation in these areas. And I think that the trend is for the shift towards, there is more innovation happening where there are more problems is my way of looking.
Okay, and just in terms of who you follow in the space, which influencers would you say influence you?
Pascal is one. I think he's been doing a lot of work since he was an ex-colleague from McKinsey, and he's now gone on to write a book. Sally Eves, Nigel Wilson, Spiros, Helen, most of them, while they have that technology focus, they also seem to be equally passionate about this whole tech for about good and sustainability area. So they're not just pure technologists. While they're doing a lot of work in the technology space, part of their heart definitely lies in the sustainability area.
And just in terms of the impacts of COVID, what would you say were some of the biggest impacts that you've seen in the tech industry in general due to COVID?
So just this morning, I was actually looking at some data that's come out in terms of just digital adoption. And I think a lot of industry leaders, they have seen more digital transformation in the last 3 or 6 months than they have seen in the last several years. Companies have realized that automation, technology, the ability to work from anywhere, the ability to, be able to be flexible to a changing environment is becoming very, very important. And I think to that extent, they have accelerated their investment in technology. This whole thing around, how the workplace of the future will look, and how you're going to be more inclusive, more participative, and yet remote. So I think a lot of that technology in the enterprise space is obviously going to be deployed there, coupled with the usual thing around security, and that's going to become increasingly important because you now don't have people coming inside your perimeter, and there are actually people going to be sitting anywhere and everywhere. So what has been striking is the rate of adoption of technology has completely accelerated.
That makes sense. Okay, fantastic. And just in terms of outside of your key topics, are there any other topics that you're interested in as well?
I think the word for the fear of getting bored, I think it's called thalassophobia. And I think my wife, she thinks that I'm probably thalassophobic. I'm kind of a history buff. I love cars, and in that I go and test drive every new car. A lot of my time goes with my dog. She's a golden lab called Toffee.
So finally, if I was a brand and I wanted to partner with you on a content campaign, for example, what would be the best way for me to get in touch with you?
I think the best would be to kind of reach out to me through LinkedIn or Twitter.
I'd just like to say thank you so much for your time, Samiran. It's been a real pleasure talking to you today.
Thanks so much for having me on.